The Dallas Stars and Dallas Mavericks, two teams that have peacefully coexisted at the American Airlines Center for decades, has now taken a turn for the worse. Tensions are rising, the Stars are threatening to move, and with the ongoing feud, what is the future of hockey in Big D?
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. It's about time we discuss the feud between the Dallas Stars and Dallas Mavericks. The Stars are exploring options to move from the American Airlines Center in the near future. Is that something you would be on board with or not? Let me know in the comments below. We are going to dive into all the important information regarding the lawsuits between the Stars and Mavs recently and what a potential relocation could look like. But of course, before we wrap up today's show, we will preview the Tampa Bay Lightning as the Stars are back in action tonight. But this is a very complex and ongoing situation. First off, I do refer you to Dallas Morning News. They've done the legwork on this and have done an excellent job of describing the very complex situation. I just kind of want to hit the bullet points, give my observations and takeaways as well. But according to the Dallas Morning News, as of Tuesday of this week, the Mavericks filed a petition alleging that the Stars breached a clause in their agreement that requires both teams' headquarters to remain inside the city of Dallas. We all know the Stars have operated out of Frisco since 2003. The lawsuit is the latest development in growing tensions between the two franchises over the future of the American Airlines Center and a potential $300 million renovation deal that could extend both teams' leases at the arena through 2061. The Mavericks say the Stars backed out of that long-term extension. The Stars, meanwhile, contend that they agreed to a different deal that would keep both teams at the arena through 2035. The Mavericks and Stars, of course, have shared the AAC since 2001. Under their current agreement, both franchises could leave after the lease expires in 2031. Now, the Stars have responded as of Tuesday night, a countersuit seeking to restore normal operations at the AAC and prevent the Mavericks' attempted hostile takeover, according to a statement from Stars counsel Joshua M. Sandler. So there is a lot of moving parts in this as well. There is discussions about the Stars extending their lease and doing renovations to the AAC while the Mavericks end up building an arena, a basketball-only arena in downtown Dallas. We all know the Stars are maybe eyeing a move somewhere else in the DFW metroplex as well. And from what I've maybe gathered from that, they could actually really be eyeing that because of a change in demographics. Also, it seems to me, at least from what we hear from President Brad Alberts or some of the quotes I've seen in certain pieces, the Stars are looking to do what the Rangers have sort of done in Arlington with the Texas Live. They want to buy real estate. One of the issues right now is the Stars don't own any of the real estate around Dallas. And that's why I think they actually are really taking a serious look at moving. I've also seen that maybe they're just using that as leverage to try to get a deal done. There is some really good quotes in a WFAA article talking about the Stars are holding the American Airlines Center hostage from the Mavs. The Mavs claim that because the Stars have vetoed investments and payouts to employees, a power the Mavs claim they no longer have. Because the Stars have not operated in the city of Dallas. The Mavericks actually have purchased, I guess, the operating cost. Let me see if I can find the exact specification of it. But with the Stars being operated in Frisco, the Mavs claim they become the sole owners of companies and therefore had sole control over the operations of the AAC. In the agreement, whichever team, if they decided to breach the contract, they could purchase the operations. So there is also this, I guess, thing about the Mavs have money that is potentially, I guess, owed to the Stars, or is the Stars money? It's in hold somewhere, like in Chicago. It's sort of confusing in some degree. It, of course, will all get suited out, but the Stars have countersued, as I mentioned, and there's a quote here. It says their lawsuit seeks to marginalize the Dallas Stars to the role of a mere tenant and ultimately drive the team out of Dallas. In the counter lawsuit filed on October 28th, the team alleges the Mavericks owners sent a letter and $110 in cash to the Stars owners, claiming per the team's 1999 agreement to purchase the Stars' stake in the arena because the team relocated its headquarters in Frisco. That is what I was looking for. So they purchased the team's stake. And now the Stars argue that it did not breach any provision in its agreement with the Mavericks, and the only contract requiring the Stars to maintain its principal corporate and executive offices in Dallas is between the city and the Stars. The Mavericks are not a party to that agreement. The lawsuit reads, only the city could allege the Stars violated the franchise agreement, the Stars said. And now this just recently came out from WFAA as well, that there is going to be a hearing. Injunction hearings are scheduled for November 24th and 25th. During that hearing, a judge will likely determine whether or not to temporarily bar the Stars from arena operations. From there, a mini trial will be held to determine the merits of the Mavericks being able to buy out the Stars' share, attorneys said. Attorneys for the Mavericks said both parties are working to pay AAC staff their earned bonuses. So a lot of moving parts and a lot of interesting takes from both sides here. And it'll be fascinating to see how this all gets solved, but certainly not a great look. I feel like for really both sides. And more importantly, it's just not great for fans, I think, with everything being in jeopardy. I've seen a lot of takes from the Stars side of things, Stars fans, about the Mavs seem to be trying to get the Stars to foot some of the bill for the renovations, the AAC, and then all of a sudden the Mavs go and build a basketball only arena. I really don't have a massive stance on the whole situation. I'll be completely honest. I know that's not great for a podcast, I suppose, but there's just a lot of information. Some of it I feel like is just really over my head. The Mavs also here says they claim the Stars blocked annual bonuses to arena employees, as I mentioned. Brad Alberts has said, we aren't going to approve any bonuses until the arena's business can be returned to a normal state. At that point, the bonuses for employees can be evaluated. And it's just a really fascinating situation about how both teams are trying to, I guess, maybe find a way to stay, to extend a lease. It talks about maybe being a 50-50 split, while the Stars say they were to pay a portion of the costs for the renovations. And it also, I think the city came back and also said that they're not going to just allow the Stars to rent for free, basically, and all this stuff. There is just a lot of claims, and that's why I really encourage you to go read the articles, which I'm sure many of you done, and the Dallas Morning News have done some of this. But this is a big point that we're going to kind of break down here in the next segment. Stars president Brad Alberts has said, in an interview earlier this month, looking for a facility, this is a quote, looking for a facility with 365-day revenue. The team's HQ and practice facility is currently in Frisco. Of course, the Mavericks under new ownership are looking to build a new basketball-first arena in Dallas, freeing the Stars to find a new home. And then, of course, now everything's sort of reached a climax. And the Stars, here's the quote here. It said, he thinks the Plano council member, Rick Horn, says he thinks the Stars are basically using Plano, probably Frisco also, as a tool to leverage a better deal in the city of Dallas. So very interesting stuff. Let me know if you have a strong takeaway or a strong stance in the comments below. Some of it, I just I understand it, but I don't know if I have enough information. It is a bunch of claims. I don't know if maybe either side is really in the wrong. It just seems to be coming to a head at this point, and something has to be solved. So the Stars eyeing a move to Plano or anywhere else in the DFW Metroplex. Is that something you would like? I do have a strong stance on that. I'll tell you about it in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making the late push. The NBA is back in full swing. Of course, you have college football, you have NFL on Sundays, and FanDuel allows you to play however you like to play. And FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. So the latest news is that the Stars are considering a new $1 billion arena in Plano. And of course, that would move the Stars out of downtown Dallas for the first time in its history. Sources said that the Shops at Willow Bend Mall site has emerged as a favorite to land the Stars after discussions with cities including Frisco, the Colony, Arlington, and Fort Worth if the team leaves the AAC after the lease expires in 2031. Now, I'm from Richardson. I went to Plano schools, so I live very close to Plano, but I don't even want to see the Stars move to Plano. Frankly, I don't want the Stars to move anywhere. I like that they are located in downtown Dallas. I want them to be located in downtown Dallas. However that has to occur, I think that is the best case scenario for the Stars and for the majority of Stars fans. Although it may benefit me that they move to Plano because the arena may be closer, if you factor in traffic and all that stuff, I really don't know if it would shave any time off just because we all know around DFW, it's just an absolute S show, no matter where you're coming from. Look at the Rangers and Cowboys. I can't stand going to Arlington. I can't stand going out there. Number one, it just takes almost an entire day, it feels like. Number two, there's no public transportation to get out there. There is no trains. There is no DART. That's why I love Dallas. You can go on the DART, you can have a food beverages, and you don't have to worry about driving home. You can just take the train. I think it's safer for all parties involved as well. And it's just sort of a great middle ground, sort of perfect spot in the Metroplex. I feel like for Stars fans, maybe out in Fort Worth and whatnot. Look, it's going to be terrible either way. I don't think it's going to change if the Stars go to Frisco or Plano. Like, traffic's going to be awful. And as a person like myself that doesn't like going out to Arlington, I can imagine people from Arlington are really going to hate trying to get out to Plano or trying to get out to north of Dallas, right? It's just a hassle. I know the dart goes through like downtown Plano. I don't think there's anything over on that side. I could be mistaken there, but the lack of public transportation in Dallas is just an issue in itself. The infrastructure, we all know that. It's not a very walkable city. That's always the knock against Dallas. So being in down Dallas just alleviates some of that. I'm also biased. I like going downtown and seeing ballparks, arenas just across the U.S. And if they're like, this is stupid, but if they're the Dallas Stars, I like them being in Dallas. Like the Dallas Cowboys haven't been in Dallas for a while now, like or Dallas County. I know we all think of Dallas as Plano. I grew up, like I said, Richardson. I tell everybody I'm from Dallas. Like, people get it. We all just say Dallas is kind of this encompassing thing, not Dallas County, so to speak. But I am not on board for them moving at all. I want them to stay in downtown Dallas. And look, I've seen Stars fans. I would love for them to come out to Fort Worth. Well, of course, if you live out there, you want them to be closer, and I certainly see that. I just think Dallas is kind of in a good area. I know Arlington is actually, that is actually the sort of middle of the metroplex. It's like the, I guess it's the halfway point. Not really, but you'll understand what I'm saying, between Dallas and Fort Worth. But I don't want another team out in Arlington. and Dallas is just a good spot for the Stars. I don't want to see them move. Even if it would benefit me, I don't think that it's going to benefit the large majority of Stars fans. Although I know Brad Alberts has been on the record of talking about demographics and they're changing. I know more people are moving north, right? They're moving to Frisco, the prosper areas of the world. It's all kind of happening. I think that's probably the trend. The population of North Texas is increasing north that way. But I'll say I'm not a big fan of it, and I would like it to be used as leverage. If they are using that, if that is their ploy, I kind of like that. I think it's best for whatever they can do to keep it in downtown. You have the Dart, right? You have I can't remember, TRE. It's the one out in Fort Worth, the train station that you're able to get on. The Trinity Rail, I think it is what it's named. It saves time. I think it saves a headache. I think probably, I don't know if you can document it, I probably saves on just accidents because of the public transportation. You don't have to worry, hopefully, if people are making smart decisions, drinking and driving, which can be a hassle. I think that's a big ploy of it. Like, think about someone like me, or really anybody that goes to Arlington. You go out to the Ranger games, Cowboy games, like, not that I'm saying everybody's going to just, get lubricated and get absolutely hammered, but that's an appeal of going out to a ball game. You're going to have a few beverages. You want to enjoy a couple of beers. But if you go over that line, well, you can't go over the line, right? You can't, because you have to drive home, whether that's, 20 minutes or you're driving 45 minutes to get back. It just, I think it's safer, honestly, in a lot of ways. I don't know if you could, I don't know if you could find numbers to back that up, but it at least gives you options. I think in some other place, you just don't have options in DFW, because just the lack of public transportation is just not that good to get in other parts of DFW. And maybe I'm completely wrong on that, but I don't know if the Willow Bend site specifically, is there like a stop? Is there a station that goes out there for Dart? I don't know if there is. Again, I could be off my rocker. I know Dart's always putting up new stuff. There's probably new tracks and whatnot, new lines. But yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of it. I would just like them to stay in Dallas. And sort of back to my early point, if you're going to be this Dallas Star, why not play in Dallas? I get it. Like, it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Fans, either way, there's going to be a certain part of the Metroplex that benefits from it. There's always going to be a part that maybe has more negatives. I think it's perfect where they are. I don't know how much else to really explain it. Maybe some of it's just nostalgia. But I certainly see the appeal of it from a business perspective. If you're the Stars, I think I brought this up in the first segment. They don't own any of the real estate around the AAC. So there's just not a potential for the 365-day revenue that the Stars are looking for. And as the president, as an owner like Tom Ghilardi, like they have to look at that. They have to. It's just smart business. But we just don't want it to come at a cost of the fans, right? And this is what it feels. This feud now just kind of feels like that's what it may end up being, and I don't think anybody wants that. So it certainly stinks. I am just fascinated to see how it all sort of shapes out. I don't have a huge stance. I don't really want to pick sides. Like the Stars are to blame, the Mavs are to blame. I think in due time we'll figure it out. In due time we'll have the answers to all of it. But on a potential move, I'm not a big fan. Let me know. Maybe you are in the comments below. Would love to hear your take on that. So yeah, that kind of wraps up our conversation on the feud between the Mavs and Stars and a potential move for Dallas. Alrighty. Let's preview. Let's talk actual hockey. Let's preview the Tampa Bay Lightning. Stars looking to make it 4 in a row tonight. Tampa Bay not off to a great start. So potential great opportunity for the Stars. Let's dive into it next. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Monarch Money. Let's be honest, most of us can't even name all our financial accounts, let alone what they're worth. Between 401ks, savings, investments, it's easy to lose track, and that can mean leaving money on the table. That's why Monarch Money is there for you. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. It allows you to organize your accounts, track your spending, and get a better handle on your investments without ever having to touch a spreadsheet. You can review everything with your partner, see your shared goals, and just make better financial decisions together or just for yourself. They have visual dashboards, smart tools that make it so much easier to understand where your money is going and how it can work harder for you. Don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL, monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year. The Stars taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight, a 6 o'clock puck drop, and it is a nationally televised game, part of a TNT doubleheader. This is on the road. Stars are on the road tonight doing a bit of a Florida swing. They take on the Florida Panthers on Saturday. So a chance to get at the Lightning, who have been off to a bit of a slow start. Some usual characters maybe not playing up to their reputations. The Lightning are 4-4-2 here to begin the season. They're coming off a victory over Nashville 5-2 during the Frozen Frenzy. Gensel and Kucherov are their leading scorers. Vasilevsky has a couple of wins. He isn't playing up to his usual standard. .893 save percentage and 2.86 goals against average for Vasilevsky. They've given up 30 goals against. That is 12th. And they've scored 29, which is 21st in the NHL. So they're a bit average in some spots and a bit below average in some others. So they're not completely playing their best hockey, which you could say the same about the Stars. Now, there was some updates as well about Duchene and Oscar Beck from practice yesterday. Duchene and Beck will travel with the team. So they will be in Florida. Roope Hintz will not. So Hintz will not check in to either tonight's game or on Saturday against Florida, which stinks after that hit he took from Taylor Hall the other week. Special teams battle. Stars slowly improving on the PK. They're 24th now Tampa is 88% on the PK. They're 7th. Stars are 3rd on the power play, 31%. That is scorching. It's looked just really good. They picked up a power play goal the other night, of course, in the 1-0 shutout of the Caps. They're moving the puck well. They're keeping Rantanen out. Even when Steele, Bork and company, the second unit was trotted out there along with Harley, that unit has looked dangerous at points. Like, they're creating a ton. Their puck movement has just looked really crisp. There's a lot more movement on the Stars power play this year, which I really like. There's more moving parts. They're not as stagnant, and it's helping. They've been a bit too pass happy at points. I just think overall in their game, they're looking for the pass, the extra pass, maybe a bit too much. Be more liberal with their shooting is what I'm hoping to see from Dallas. But played a strong game the other day, holding on to a lead. That was something maybe we didn't discuss enough on yesterday's episode. Stars looked way better with a lead yesterday, and just a 1-goal lead. We've already seen their issues with 2, 3-goal advantages, but for the most part, they did an excellent job against Washington, kind of holding on. Of course, the Caps hit 3 pipes. It wasn't perfect, but there just wasn't as many high danger, consistent looks for Washington against the Stars the other night. But we all know the Lightning can put a hurt on you in a hurry. Some really interesting stuff here. Kucherov is a -6. Braden Point is a -9. Like, that is just intriguing for what those guys are. They have some issues in terms of penalties. Lillibird, their defenseman, is taking 31 penalty minutes this season. That's the most in the NHL. They rank in the top half of the league, top 10 of the league in penalty minutes taken this year. So they have found themselves into trouble. But as I mentioned, their PK has been really strong. They've now won 3 games. I know I said, like, the record doesn't look all that great, but they've won 3 in a row. So they're starting to find a groove. Anaheim a win, Vegas overtime win, and then Nashville. So very similar last 10 games to the Stars. They lost 3 in a row. Now they've won 3. Dallas has done the same. So these are 2 teams that are starting to play better and now meeting here, which should be interesting tonight. And maybe we see a game with some fireworks. I imagine we're not going to see a shutout from either side here. But we know Vasilevsky has given the Stars issues. My gut is maybe the Smith goes tonight, and Otter goes on Saturday against Florida. I would imagine they would split it and not play Otter in both games. Actually, I would say Otter's probably going to go tonight. They're going to want to keep him hot. How do you not go back to him after a shutout? So just rewind. Forget I said that. They'll probably go Otter tonight and then maybe to Smith on Saturday, depending on how the night goes. Maybe they roll with him. They want to get him more consistent. And if he's hot, right, keep him hot. Would be my suggestion. Some other key nuggets to maybe look at on Tampa Bay. Some slow starts from some guys. So they're not, Braden Hagel. Hagel was incredible last year. 35 goals. He had 90 points. That was by far a career high. So some of this may be, there's going to be some regression to the mean. They were a bit older on the back end. They're not as stout on the blue line. I think the Stars can maybe get after them on the forecheck. You look at their expected goals for this season at 5-on-5. Tampa ranks rather high, 53.62, which is 7th right now. This is via Money Puck. The Stars are 16th, so they can still put a hurt on you. As I mentioned, I'm interested to see their expected goal differential. The Stars haven't been great in that statistic. Tampa's in 7th. So this is no slouch. They're improving. Stars are improving too. They're 16th now. At one point, they were like 27th. So these are two teams that are slowly improving, and they're meeting tonight. So it's going to be a fun one. Tampa always is weird. I feel like sometimes it's a great game for Dallas. Sometimes it's horrific. It just kind of depends. Florida's been a bit of a blech show recently just because, well, Florida's good. But Tampa seems to be bipolar. Feels like the Stars maybe get trounced or it's the other way around. So I'm really curious to see how it all goes. But looking forward to this one tonight. 6 o'clock puck drop. Stars Lightning. It's another nationally televised game on TNT. So let me know your score predictions in the comments below. Let me know how you're feeling about the tensions, the feud now with the Mavs, and a potential move for the Stars following the lease coming to an end in 2031. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I hope I did a decent job of explaining it, everything. It's a lot of moving parts, and hopefully I didn't feel like I'm just reading off to you, which I did to some degree. But wanted to share some of my opinions on the whole matter as well. Anyways, that's going to do it for this Thursday edition. Have a great rest of your day. Stars fans, will be back tomorrow to break down the contest, kick you off into your weekend. So we'll see you tomorrow. So long, Stars fans.